Hello and welcome to a Sunday Reflection.
My name is Paul Harvey and this is Life, Passion and Business. We're about helping you explore, finding your passion for life and the work that you do. But it's so much more than that. It's about finding clues to the big life questions. What does it mean to be successful? What is the meaning of life? If you're looking for more, then join me on this journey where together we will discover through interviews, tools and tips how to live life full of meaning, passion and purpose.
Hello and welcome to a reflection. So today's conversation is a little bit about goal setting, a little bit about tools for goal setting, and something about decommitment. I was in conversation with my accountability partner this week, and we've been meeting for well over a year now, just to keep ourselves both on track with various things that we said we would do. And one of the things that came up in conversation was goal maps, because they discovered that they had done a goal map 18 months ago, and many of the things on that map had come to pass. And it made me recall my own goal map. Now, goal mapping is a technique that is designed to support you to succeed with goals that you set yourself, make your dreams come true effectively. And it's a technique and a process developed by a guy called Brian Mayne. And if you were at our spirituality event last year, Brian was one of the speakers at that event. And he is a truly amazing man, had an amazing journey from being in a fairground family, unable to read and write when he was in his 20s, losing just about everything, and then rebuilding the whole process and discovering a whole new system for getting what he wanted out of his life, which is called goal mapping. And it has grown to this amazing movement across the world about how to set goals. So I'll leave a link into how to use goal mapping. And that is a good segue. I will come back to books at the end of this podcast. But needless to say, there's a technique that Brian developed whereby you create a map of what you want, both in images and in words. And you use that map on a regular basis to help you and support you to get what you want. Now, I mean, we've all heard of vision boards, and there are probably countless tools out there in the world for getting what you want. And I think they all work. Whichever one you use, it will work if you use it. So Brian's goal mapping system, I said in that goal map in 2019 that by August 2020 I would be podcasting full time. I had an income figure that I'd set on that thing, and I also had various plans that I would do. And what is fascinating is that what happened because of COVID is that there was nothing else to do by August 2020. I was podcasting full time, and this has become my work. What I do find is fascinating though is that even though it has become my work, and I would call myself a podcaster and event host, now like my LinkedIn profile says that, and most of my profiles say that, it has taken me a long time to decommit from what I used to do. So I have one foot in both worlds. And it's fascinating because I have been a digital marketer for most of my time in Scotland, nearly 20 years. And so for me to step away from it and no longer take on digital marketing clients at all, or no longer seek and want them, that is a big decommitment. During lockdown, I walked away from digital marketing and focused on the podcast because I thought that was the best thing to do, and I haven't picked it up since. What was fascinating for me in many respects is that decommitment, that conscious decommitment, has been a long time coming. So we've been tidying up the websites and tidying up all of our websites that we've got, because we do have a few. And it was a decision going back a few weeks now to actively change the marketing website so that it said, I am not taking on new clients, and referring everybody there to the podcast. So that was an action that was taken a few weeks ago. And I have to say, it felt difficult doing that. And I don't know why, because I don't have any clients in the area and I'm not looking for any. But it still felt hard to let go of it. And I've been kind of wearing that idea, holding that idea of that I am letting go of it. I mean, one of the difficulties at the moment is that most of my email traffic goes to an email address which is relative to the marketing website. And my wife keeps pushing me to use the podcast email address as my primary address. And I'm slightly resistant to it because it's a very long address. It's a long email address. lifepassionandbusiness.com is quite a long address. But I'm warming to the idea. But what was fascinating this week, or the week just gone, is I was interviewed on a podcast and I was asked to introduce myself. And what rolled straight off my tongue was that I am a former digital marketer. And it almost made me do a double take when I said that, because I had to kind of go, oh, I've just noticed I have actually decommitted to what I used to do. Which I think is how can I say? I'm very proud of myself for decommitting. So this is the problem, I think, in everybody has this issue, is reaching for in reaching for the new, we have to let go of the old. And there's going to be a point somewhere in all of this where you're neither one nor the other, but you have to commit to going forward. What I have recognized, even though the podcast is my full-time role, and we are growing enormously. I've got guests constantly looking to get on the program, and we're booked out well past August now in terms of shows. So the podcast is absolutely growing hugely, and I am getting very popular, it's just marvelous. It's wonderful. It's really exciting to have that, but it's still not quite the role. I mean, I was out the other week, actually. I was at a running club. I just joined a new running club. And someone said, what do I do for a living? And I said, I'm a podcast host and I'm a podcast and virtual event host. And I went, oh, really? And it does actually create a lot of interest when I say that. So I guess that's what it is. I'm starting to feel my way into being in it and recognizing that that's what I am. That's what I want to do. So that's what I'm putting out to you this week, to think about it, really. If you want to change in your life, if you want to move forward into change, at some point you have to burn the bridge. At some point you have to step onto the boat and push it out into the river. And that's kind of where I am, really. That, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for 3 years. But to say this is my full-time role is something else. That's what I put out to you, really, is that idea of, like, how are you going to make that easy for you? How are you going to make that happen? So what did I do for this to make this happen, to give you a clue into it? I mean, my wife was very helpful in this. I probably wouldn't have done this without her, because she wanted to update my website, my marketing website. It got me realizing I didn't want to do anything on it. We talked long and hard about it, and then she said, well, let's just put it on hold. Let's say we're not taking new clients. We want to switch it back on again. And she's right, we can. So that was the first stage for me. It was a slight decommitment on it. And that decommitment has been growing, changing my LinkedIn title, changing bits and pieces around. I still haven't quite stepped away from the email address yet. And that's the next stage, to move away into something else, into the new world that I want to be in. That's what I put out to you, actually, is experiment. See how you can decommit and commit to what you want to. Because there has to be a process of release and let go. Can't do it all. I can't hold both things and have both things growing. So that's it, really. That's me this week on that conversation of decommitment and using tools for goal setting. And we'll come back to the goal setting tools because there's going to be a bit more on those over the next few weeks. So on the subject of tools and useful information, I am a big reader. I read a lot of books. I pick up a lot of books because of the podcasts as well. I end up getting a lot of books from my guests. So I thought it would be a great idea to put down a list of my top books, the books that I have found useful over the last few years. And I have to say, it was hard to get it down. I think I got it down to 20 books. Some of them are business orientated because this is not, as you realised, life, passion and business is not just about business. It is about my entire life. And some of those books are about thinking. Some of those books are about my relationship with spirituality, my relationship with my sense of reality. Some of those books are about business, about thinking, or about some of the systems I use in business. Some of it are very much part of my digital marketing history. But they're all valuable books, I think, in terms of taking you, the person, forward in your business and your life. Anyway, so there are 20 books on there. Do come to lifepassionandbusiness.com and check out this podcast to find, and you'll find a link to the books under the resources tab on there, because I can't list them all here, and I'm not even sure the links on the show notes work. So it'd be much easier for you to come to the website and check it out there. So that's it for this week, really. I'm so excited at what's happening, what's coming forward. As I said, we've got loads of guests. So the event is starting to take shape. I've got a new project taking shape in terms of some products that we're putting together for you. So lots of exciting things happening. Please like and follow this podcast because, as I said, lots of exciting things happening. And as I say every week, and I'm going to say it again, if you are enjoying this podcast, if you enjoy any podcast, please make sure that you support your content creators. Support us with likes, follows, and really can do this, reviews. If you review a podcast, you are so supporting the person who made the podcast, but you're also supporting other people like yourself because you're helping other people find good podcasts. And that is really valuable. It's like you making your own contribution. So if you could do that, it would be really appreciated for me, but every other podcaster will appreciate it too. So that's me for this week. Thank you so much. As always, thank you so much for your time and attention, and I will catch you later. All the best.